What's up, friends? Thank you so much for joining us once again for Clarity15. I pray that last week was a tremendous week for you and you're looking forward to what God has planned for you on this week. My mind goes back to Jeremiah 29 and 11 in the letter that was sent by the prophet Jeremiah to Israel. It said these words. It says, I know the thoughts or the plans concerning you, and their thoughts are plans of peace and not evil, to give you an expected end. That's an expectation. That means that we're still attached by the umbilical cord to our promise and God. And God is going to do exactly what he said he was going to do. As a sequel from last week, if you remember, I was writing my dissertation, and my chairman of the dissertation board said that I had 2 weeks to make revisions before I was to graduate. If you remember, I had been trying to get in touch with the chairman of my dissertation board for about 3 months and lost all communication with him. I emailed him, I called him, but I did not receive a message back from him, only to be told 2 weeks before graduation that I had a plethora of revisions to make before I walked across the stage. I was distraught. I was incensed. I was angry. But there are 3 things that God gave me that I want to hand to you, because I don't want pity to be your enemy. The first point that I want to give to you is this: never co-opt purpose for pity. I want to say that again. Never co-opt purpose for pity. You see, many people lose the big picture. I was about to lose the big picture. The big picture was I needed to graduate. I had spent time in the program, toiling and laboring through a very tedious program. God had brought me to the point of graduation, and I was ready to pack it in just from one conversation from a man telling me that I had 2 weeks before graduation. Do you ever miss the forest for the trees? You must see the big picture. I'm going to say that point again. Never co-opt purpose for pity. The second thing that I learned is this: be certain that pity becomes your inspiration, but not your enemy. Wow. Make sure that pity becomes your inspiration. That means pity must become your change. It must become the impetus for the change, and not your enemy. You see, during that time, I had to figure out a way that pity would be the modality for me to realize the change that I needed in my perspective and my attitude. I wonder right now, who are you? Are you the person that's allowing pity to get the best of you to the degree that it's become your enemy and not your change? There is something inside of you if you're feeling pitiful. There is something inside of you gnawing away at the uttermost parts of your soul if you're feeling pitiful. And it's telling you that you don't need to change. But I came to tell you that change is right before your eyes. Let it be the inspiration to change and not your enemy. I had to reduce my perspective, or what I thought of myself, humble myself under the almighty hand of God, and do what I was being asked to do. The third thing that I learned is this: never let pity turn into entitlement. Well, this impinges upon the last point that I made. And this one is a tough one, because friends of mine, we often feel entitled. I remember standing in my office fussing, angry, incensed, saying within myself, I dare him do this. How could he put me in this position? I espoused the mea culpa. What I did was I stomped, I screamed, I yelled. I was infuriated of what was done to me, or what I thought he was doing to me, but it didn't change anything. And the reason I did it is because I felt entitled. I had nothing to be entitled to. So what? Because I had spent all of the time in graduate school toiling over studies and researching. That's what I wanted to do. He had his doctorate. I didn't have mine. Who was I to feel entitled? Who was I to threaten to withdraw from the program? What was that going to do? He had his doctorate. I didn't have mine. That would have just been a waste of money. Never let pity turn into entitlement. There are many of you who are watching me right now and you're wondering, you're saying, Bishop, I'm ready to make a change in my life. I'm ready to do something that's inconceivable. Perhaps you thought about it, but you thought it was so far out of reach that you could not attain it. Well, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you July 11th at 7 p.m. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to type this in, Clarity15 at gmail.com. Again, that's Clarity15 at gmail.com. We're going to see to it that you never again allow pity to become your enemy. That you never again feel entitled. And that you'll never again co-opt purpose for pity. Remember, as we always say, friends, purpose with no clarity is just a daydream. On this week, be epic.